Good morning and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. What you gonna do? I don't know, but something's gonna grow. Well, hello everyone. Playing camera adjustment here. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. Well, as the title says, the farmer's market finale. So this is my report. So this is it, you guys. I said I can get this finished. I can get this closed out on today. So I am through for the winter. Excuse my mop, y'all. It's looking mighty bad today. Okay, the honey man, just as I suspected, was there. This wasn't his week, but I figured that he would be there due to it being Pawpaw Day. And so sure enough, he was. And so he was kind of squeezed in because his spot is normally taken up on the weeks that he's not here. Usually the wool lady, she's a wool lady and she sells yarn. Usually she's there, but she wasn't there today. So they had a cannoli lady there and she's not even normally there. So she was in that spot. And so she had enough room for the honey man to squeeze in. So he had a little table. Excuse me. He had a little table there. And so there he was in his spot. And he was making money too. So what I did was, instead of buying another quart, I bought a pint and I bought a half pint. And so I'm going to show you all the honey that I have. Now this one here, this is my quart. And as you can see, it is crystallized partially. You have honey at the top, and it's going to eventually crystallize too. And so it works from like the bottom up. So this is a year old. I bought this at this time last year. So this is the crystallized honey. And to decrystallize it, all you have to do is put it on the stove in some water, medium heat. And then it will melt when I unmelted my pint of crystallized honey, it took about 30 minutes. I had it on like a low to medium heat and in the mason jar, and it melted, and I'm using that now. So anyway, so this is a year old. So I have this. A few weeks ago, I bought this. Well, about a month ago, I decided to get a plastic bottle pint. But then I thought about it after the fact. I said, okay, this will be the next one that I'll use, because he just started giving you a choice of buying it in the plastic bottle or the mason jar. And I thought, dodo bird, you're buying preps. You should have bought the mason jar, but I did get the plastic. So this one, once I finish off that pint that I have now, I will start using this one immediately. So this won't be prep. This will be for my immediate. And so once I finish off the pint, so I'll probably open that at some point during the winter. So then, I bought this one last week. I bought this pint right here. So today, this is what I bought. I bought another pint, and then I bought a half pint. So this is prep. So I have 4 for preps. So you could basically say 2.5 quarts, because 2 pints is a quart. I have a quart and then a half pint. And if I want to put this in the preps, I would have 3 pints in a quart. So this will go in the prep closet, but I will start using this because I do use preps, also. And then I replaced them. So next year, all I'll need to do, because I'll be keeping these, I'll rotate, of course. I'll probably buy another quart next year and start using the quart that's crystallized. But honey never goes bad. So it really doesn't matter whether I do it or not. But, excuse me. Y'all, I've been sneezing. I think I'm allergic to animals. The farmer's market, they allow pets. Everybody in there has a dog but me, okay? And I tell you, I was around so many dogs while I was in there today, and I just started sneezing, and it hasn't ended. So anyway, but like I said, honey doesn't go bad. And this is sealed, so it probably wouldn't go bad in the plastic, but I just feel better using this one. And I'd rather save the ones that are in the mason jar because those are tried and true. So I'll just buy one next year to replace the one that I'm going to use. No biggie. I think I have enough with 5 bottles here, brand new, never opened. And then a bottle in the kitchen that has been used. Okay, the other thing is, I know y'all want to hear about the pawpaws. Let me tell you what happened, y'all. I'm in the pawpaw line. First of all, when I arrived, the lady said, the line just got short. She was like, you better get to the line quickly. So I went on and got my little, double up points and a few dollars in chips so that I could get that $20 double up on the card. And I shot to the pawpaw line. So it was only 3 ahead of me when I got in the line. No sooner than I got there, I would say maybe 2 minutes later, all of a sudden, the mad rush came in for the second slew. They came in because I'm quite sure people are buying pawpaws and then coming back to buy more because there is a limit on them. You can't buy flats, and I think you're only limited to 10, if I'm not mistaken. And so that line started growing behind me, and when I turned around, when I was the next person, I happened to turn around to look to see how long the line was, and that line was back out that door. I said, thank you, God, for letting me get in this pawpaw line. So then it was my turn. I get up there. So they had ripe pawpaws. The ripe pawpaws cost 2 for $5. That was your ripe ones. Your non-ripe pawpaws were $1 a piece, okay? So I was like, well, I'll take the 2 ripe ones. I was like, and then give me 2 of the non-ripe ones. And she said the non-ripe ones will take a week to 2 weeks to ripen up. So my total was going to be $7. So I go handing her, and I wasn't using my chips or anything because I knew that they wouldn't be taking chips because the pawpaw man is just there once a year. When Pawpaw Day arrives, that's his only time that he's there. And he lives up north and whatnot. So when he hits Royal Oak, that's it, that one time. So anyway, I'll go to hand her my credit card. She was like, oops. She was like, I'm sorry. She's like, we only take cash and Venmo. Once again, I'm unprepared. I don't have cash, nor do I have Venmo. So I'm like, oh, Lord, I messed up. So anyway, I was like, well, look like I can't get pawpaws today. So the lady felt sorry for me. She was like, no, you getting one today. So she gave me 2 free pawpaws, y'all. So, and they're the 2-week ripened ones. So I can't taste it today like I was planning on doing. So here are my 2 non-ripe pawpaws. So they're here in the bag. I'll put them on the table. And she said, she said, you'll be able to smell them. She said, and then and Jen, help me out with these so I'll know when they're ripe. She said, and they'll get a little softer. She said, I think you'll know when they're ripe. So, Jen, you can tell me. So these were my 2 free pawpaws. That's all I came out with. So I will get to taste the pawpaw after all. I told the lady, and she did say, she said, we will be back next week if we don't sell out. She said, so I would suggest you call first. She said, or they will announce it on the Facebook page. She said, but if you do come back next week, come back early because we won't have as many as we have today. She's like, but with us putting a limit on it, she's like, we should be good for at least being able to come next week. She said, but it won't be as many. And they're selling pawpaw trees. $10 for the baby tree, $20 for the toddler tree, and $30 for the adult tree, which is a nice size. It's like in a big container. And the baby trees weren't that small. They were nice, well established. And so people were there just to buy trees. And so they had all kind of pawpaw information. They had the information on how to grow pawpaw trees from seeds, that type of thing. So we'll see. If I like it, well, I won't be able to taste it for another week or 2. So they'll be gone. Because I was going to say, if I like it, I'll go back and get some trees. So when they're there next week, if I wanted to, I can go get a tree. And I might. I get paid next Thursday or this Thursday. So it all depends. I don't know. I'll think about it. But the trees were nice. And I'm quite sure those trees I could put, if I were to go back and get, and I need two because you have to have two different varieties, I was told, for them to produce pawpaws because they have to cross-pollinate each other. What was I going to say? I could put them like right in the bedroom, you know, under the grow light and just keep them in for the winter and then plant them out next season because they are cold hardy and whatnot. But I would want to keep them in. So I'll decide if I want to go get a tree. I mean, $20 and that will give me two babies. And like I said, they were nice size. The baby trees were at least the size of this cup. And then the toddler trees were a little bigger than that. And then the adult trees, which ones they call the adults, were nice established trees. Not like the ones you would find at Home Depot or Lowe's, but just about, okay? They were nice and tall, and they had those standing on the floor. So if I do go back, I will do a film and show you the trees. That is, if they don't sell out, but I would think they might bring some more. I don't know how that's going to work. Okay, so moving on. Enough of the pawpaws. So I'm not disappointed. I thank the lady wholeheartedly for giving me two pawpaws because she didn't have to do it. But they were making so much money hand over fist. I guess she figured I could spare two. So she just gave them to me because she felt bad that I wasn't going to be able to. And I stood in that line, but I hadn't stood that long. I stood about 10 minutes and that was it. Then I went to the shepherd's peppers lady. I decided at the last minute that I would pass on the shepherd's peppers. She had a lot of them too, but she had a long line. People were buying them. And I thought to myself, if I buy some today, I'm just being plain greedy. In fact, I'm 2 weeks into being plain greedy. And so I said, I won't buy any today. I will just not get them. I can use that extra money towards the bell peppers. And y'all, I should have been getting those bell peppers last week, but you know, I didn't decide to do them until today. So they didn't have any blonde bell peppers, nor did they have any more of the purple bell peppers. Those babies sold out. So I ended up getting a red bell pepper, a yellow bell pepper, and an orange. And then, of course, they had green. So I only bought 3 bell peppers. They were $1 a piece from the shepherd's peppers lady. That was all that I bought with the for peppers. So I'll cut those 3 up and I'll go for a half. I think that'll give me a half pint of peppers. Oh, and I forgot to bring, let me go get my Cipollini's. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. All right, so the shepherd's pepper lady, she also sells green beans. And so I had bought a tub last week and it only filled my bag halfway. And so she had like the small tub for $3. And then she had like a medium-sized tub, which was $6. And so then she had, I didn't know she had like these half bushels, but I didn't know that. And so I said, okay, I said, I bought some last week. I said, I'm going to get 2 of the $6 tubs. I said, and that will complete my green bean haul. I said, because it will fill up the bag that I have, which will put me at 3 bags. Because remember, I thought I already had 3 bags, but I didn't. I had 2.5. I had 2 bags, and then last week's green beans gave me 2.5. And then my green beans haven't really produced enough for a bag. Although I harvested some yesterday, but they're on their way out. So I said, okay, let me go on because of my nephew. I know my nephew at holiday time, he loves green beans. He'll eat a whole pot by himself. So I wanted to make sure I had enough for him, you know, if we do the holidays together. And I think we will this year. I think Sherry said they're not going anywhere this year. So we'll probably do Christmas again or Thanksgiving, one or the other. Anyway, so I want to make sure there's enough green beans for my nephew. He just loves them. But anyway, so she said, I said, well, let me get two of the $6 ones, which were the bigger ones. I said, because I know that will fill my bag, the one bag, to give me 3. And then it will fill an extra bag for 4, which will be the ones I would use for the holiday. And I know that will be enough for me in the winter. She was like, well, you may as well get the half bushel. She was like, listen, she was like, if you get the half bushel, she was like, the half bushel is $12. She's like, she's like, you would be paying $12 for 2 of the $6 ones. She said, but you will get at least twice as much for the same amount if you get the half bushel. She bought the crate full. It was like in a crate thing. It was a lot. And so here they are. So I've got to get started with these. So now I'm going to get at least 2 bags alone out of these. And that's fine. I'll probably just give a bag to my sister since I have extra here. So I'm sitting here snapping them now. There's some good green beans. And so I'll probably just give a bag to my sister. And then she'll have them. And then she could, ooh, listen to that one. Whoa, that was a nice one. And these are stringless too. I like them. Okay, so then moving on. The Cipollini Man. Okay, so then next was the Cipollini Man. I went to him, and thank goodness, because when I first found out about the Cipolinis, when I first saw them and inquired about them, the actual farmer was there. That's the Cipollini Man. He was actually there, and he was telling me, you know, about Cipolinis and how good they are. And I was like, well, I'll think about it. I was like, I'm going to do a little research on YouTube and find out about Cipolinis. I said, and if they're of interest to me, I said, I'll come back and get some more. And so that's what I did. And you all know that I've fallen in love with Cipolinis ever since. So anyway, he wasn't there that week. I got them from his son who was there. And his younger son, I asked him, can you freeze Cipolinis? And he said, I suppose you can. He was like, but they may not taste the same. Well, today the Cipollini Man was there, the actual farmer who grows them. And so I asked him again. I said, I asked your son a few weeks ago if you could freeze them. And he wasn't really sure. He said he didn't think they would taste as good. He said, do you freeze regular onions? I was like, I've never frozen them. I was like, but I've had frozen onions before. I said, and, you know, bought from the store. I said, really don't like them. He was like, well, I can tell you with certainty, you can cut up your Cipolinis and freeze them. He said, a lot of people do that. He was like, so yes, you can do it. So then it's time to pay for the Cipolinis. Okay, so I was out of tokens because I had used my tokens. I used every last one of them for the Honey Man. I was like, I'm not paying out of pocket, because usually I'll pay out of pocket for the honey and save my tokens for, you know, produce and then my card. And so, you know, my card, the double up card. And so I had just decided to just use all the tokens for the Honey Man and then use the double up card for the green beans, you know. So I had the $12 for the green beans, and actually, I've spent $15 on the double up for the green beans and the bell pepper. But I had more on that card. Okay, so I had like another $10 left. And so I handed him the double up card with the $10 on it to get $10 worth of Cipolinis. I decided I wasn't going to get 20 because since I'm freezing them, I figured 10 Cipolinis will give me a bag. So anyway, but if I would have been dehydrating them, then I would have needed more Cipolinis. So anyway, he was like, I take the tokens, but I don't take the card because I don't have the machine. I was like, oh no. I was like, golly. So I'm thinking, okay, now I'm gonna have to pay cash for the Cipolinis. He said, how many Cipolinis? I said, well, you gave me 2 things and they're $5 a piece. He was like, Merry Christmas. He gave me the Cipolinis, y'all. So freebie. And then, of course, freebie green beans because I was going to spend $12 anyway, and I ended up getting twice as much for that amount. So you may as well say freebie for 2 tubs. So, like I said, I'm snapping. Ooh, it's a lot of green beans. I might even have 3 bags. But like I said, I'll share these with Sherry. Okay, then on to, I said, if I can find some collard greens, I said, I'll get some collard greens. And so I'm walking around. I'm still looking for the purple bell pepper and the blonde bell pepper. Couldn't find those nowhere. The lines were long. It was packed. Like I said, the dogs were everywhere. And then everybody was busy. So my friend who was selling the banana peppers up until she ran out, I went to her and she had the bok choy. And so I was looking, she had kale and she had collard greens. And so I told her, oh, I'm glad you have collard greens. So I looked at the price. The collard greens were either $3 for a bushel or whatever that thing is, a bunch, or 2 for $5. I was like, give me 2. So this is what I will be having for dinner tomorrow. So this is one, and she gave me 2 nice ones too. And here's the second one. So I think I'm going to just use one and I'm going to freeze the other. Although I've got collard greens in the greenhouse, I don't know how well they're going to do. They have taken off, but everything is growing very slowly now. And we're going into cold weather next week. So I may freeze a bunch of these. That way I have some, you know, for the holidays when I cook here. Or sometime during the winter, because y'all know I froze cabbage. I have 3 bags of cabbage in there that I've frozen for the winter time too. So this will help. And then I'm going to cook this bunch on tomorrow. And no, I am not using that enamel skillet. I will be cooking these in a pot with some smoked meat. Okay, and then the green beans will be going into the freezer. So that was it as far as everything from the farmer's market. I am done with the Royal Oaks Farmers Market till next year. And I told all my people, I was like, well, I'm through for the year. This is my finale. And they told me, you have a nice winter. And so some of them will still be there in the winter, you know, with their fall stuff, you know, their cold crops and whatnot. But they'll be through with the summer stuff. So we said our goodbyes, and I said, see you next year. I told the shepherd's pepper lady I will be back to buy more shepherd's peppers for next year. So anyway, yep, so they know me now. So anyway, I did pretty good, so I'm happy. Now, I went on and, oh, first of all, I'm redoing the bread. I tossed it, y'all, or I'm going to toss it. I did turn the bread over and I browned it on the other side and it was crispy, but it still had the softness in the middle because it was like toast. And Renee, I should have followed your directions because you said to piece the bread or cut the bread into cubes before you put them in the oven to toast them. And so I said, it's too many bread balls in here. It came out good, but it was too many bread balls. So I said, I'm going to just dump this and just redo it. Okay, so that's what's happening with the breadcrumbs. Now, it took well over 24 hours to finish up dehydrating the cipollinis. And I'm quite sure it took that extra length of time because you had to boil them before you peel. Then I had to wash, so they were wet, very wet going in. Although I did blot them and stuff, it just took forever for them to dry. And so I said, I'm not going to go through all this with the cipollinis. Oh, and I told you the cipollini man said that I can freeze them. Oh, and I didn't show y'all the cipollinis. Let me back up. Okay, so I was able to get, and these are purple cipollinis. They taste just the same. These just turn purple after a while. They're not white. I like the purple because I'll be able to see the peel when I peel them. Those white ones, you have to really feel around and stuff, but these I will be able to see. They're white on the inside. The outside are just purple after a while. So I can tell he's starting to get low on his bunch because this is the first week he's had the purple ones. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 13 cipollinis, y'all. So I guess the smaller ones, he counted them in. Because usually it's $5 per thing, and then you pay $5 for the thing. So I got 13 this time. So 2 of these, I'm going to take my 2 smallest. Let's see. These 2 will go for the greens, and this one is going to go for the, no, one will go for the potatoes I'm doing, and then this one will go for the greens. Okay, so this one can get frozen with these other ones. So I'll freeze 11. Ooh, I really like this one right here. This is deep dark purple. I like this. Okay, so that's it for, oops, I just dropped the Cipollini, y'all. Let me find it. Where did he go? Lord, I hope he didn't roll up under the couch. Hold on. 5 minutes later, I found the Cipollini, and yes, it had rolled right up under the couch like a darn baseball, okay? Oh, I got my Cipollini. Let me get him right into the bag before I drop him again. Okay, that's the end of him. Okay, so I did my dehydration of the Cipollinis, and this is what I ended up with. I'm quite impressed. I didn't think I would get this much. It didn't quite feel this. So it'll go right with my special seasonings, because remember, this is the special one that I won't use that much. So I'm going to get this one labeled, and this will be the special Cipollini onion seasoning. And then I'll have the Cipollinis frozen, the ones I can use for, you know, cooking, like if I cook greens or need some onions in them. But this will be for seasoning only. So here we go, the Cipollinis. Okay. So I think I've shown y'all everything. That's it, you guys. So that was it for the farmer's market. So like I said, today was the finale, but I think I may hit the farmer's market in Rochester next week. They open an hour later than Royal Oak. They open at 8 and they close at 2. So I may slide to Rochester next week and at least check out their farmer's market, see what they have. I know that they have the spice store there that and the Spice Exchange is there in Rochester anyway, their actual store. But I know I'll be checking them out because I need some saffron, and I want to see what other spices they may have. And then they have other vendors there, so these will be different vendors. My old honey man may be there. I really liked his honey. I like this guy too, but my old honey man, oh man, I was buying honey from him left and right. I couldn't even keep it in my own little stock. That's how good that honey was. So if he's there, that will be wonderful. And so anyway, I'll see what's there just to walk around, and then that'll be it. Because they close in October, so they're winding down anyway. And they'll be closed. Okay, so that's about it, you guys. I won't prolong this. We're at, what, 8 minutes or something like that? Or, wait, where's my magoos? Because y'all know I can't see. Oh, we're at 28 minutes. Yeah, let me get the heck off of here. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to get off of here. And I was going to do the taste test of the Cipollini's stuff. I can hold off on that, you guys, because it's... Nah, I won't do a taste test of the Cipollini seasoning. But just know, it's Cipollini seasoning. So here it is. Well, I can shake a little bit. Let's shake a little. It's the powder right here. Ooh. Okay, it's good. Okay, it's delicious. Okay, so good. It's nice and sweet. Okay, good. Okay, so I just did the taste test, y'all. So you will see me when the time comes do the taste test of the pawpaw for the first time. So look forward to that video. That'll be in the upcoming week or 2 weeks. We'll see. Probably around the beginning of October. So we'll see how that works out. My bowl is almost full already, and I haven't even made a dent in these green beans, you guys. So I'm going to be sitting here a while. Then I've got to get the greens picked so that I can get those on today. I just threw a green bean. Okay, I'm not even going to look for it. I'll find it eventually. Oh, here it is. It landed right here. Okay. So, yeah. So, like I said, I will be doing the taste tests in the upcoming weeks. And like I said, after I get through with these green beans, then I'll get those bagged up and put in the freezer. And then I will do the greens. And then I will probably cut my peppers and cipollini. I'll probably take a break. I think the peppers and the cipollinis will hold out. I'll probably wait until Monday to do that cutting. And then I'll start the dehydration with the peppers on Monday. And that will be just one batch. That's why I only bought the 3. I only need like either a half pint or one of the little bottles because I'm trying it out. And then I ended up with the bell peppers that I really don't like. I only like yellow bell peppers. I wish I could have found the purple. And maybe next week I can find purple and blonde bell peppers. And I should run the Pellies. But Pellies want $2 per pepper, but I only need 1. You know what, you guys? I'm going to get up and run the Pellies because they just may have a purple and a blonde. I know they got blonde because that's where I saw them. They might have purple bell peppers at Pellies. So, and it's right around the corner. So let me get up from here, go run the Pellies real quick and see if they have them. And then get on back. And if they do, I'll be back to show you. In fact, I'm going to just put this on pause. I'm going to go run the Pellies and I'll be right back. And if I have them, then you'll see when I get back. Shall return. Okay, y'all, I'm back. That took all of 10 minutes. Y'all, I hit snake eyes. Pellies have been eaten alive, okay? They hardly have anything left. And, in fact, the bell peppers that they did have, the red, the orange, and the yellow, they have those marked 2 for $3 now. So they changed their prices. But anyway, I was surprised they still had Italian bell peppers. And I saw a few sweet bananas, but no more romaine, romaine, and they had no more of the other ones, Cuban ales and, the other ones that they usually carry. So, like I said, they have been just obliterated. So people have purchased most of their produce and they won't have any more coming in. They just get the one harvest and that's it. Every now and then, a few more things to come in, but I can tell they're done. They have gourds and all the Halloween stuff and all the produce is like on the other side now. Not even in the same spot where it was before. So that's it. So anyway, unless I go back to the farmer's market, which I doubt. So hopefully the Rochester farmer's market will have what I need. And if not, then I'll just roll with what I got. Okay? Alrighty, so that's it, you guys. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to get these beans picked. That'll be for the next hour because, like I said, I haven't made a dent. And my bowl is already halfway full, and I have not even made a dent in these green beans. So I've got more bags because I have a feeling this might end up being more than 2 bags for sure. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later, and may God bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.